Welcome. My name is Dreyer, and this video is a continuation of my series of videos on Acutouch. In this video, Acutouch for colds and flu, I'm going to be sharing with you points to help you through that time when you've got a cold or flu or upper respiratory infection. Okay? And I'll cover general points for colds and flu, and then I'll get into the yin and yang of colds and flu. What type do you have? And from there, you know what points to use for that. Like if you've got the type that has a cough, or you have the type that gives you the fever, what do you do for fevers and coughs? Okay, and then also other general point uses that are common for either a yin or yang sort of flu. So, for instance, cough, or headache, or nasal, you know, that sort of thing. So let's get into it. First off, before you do any session, you want to do the first 2 points. And that's, I instruct you with in Introduction to Acutouch number 3, the first 2 points. And there are basically lung 5, spleen 9, great way to reset your system so you can get in there and start working at what's really bothering you, okay? So after you've done that, we're not doing that in this session, but you want to, the first 2 points for colds and flu then, besides the other first 2 points, is holding your index finger, large intestine 1's right here, and large intestine 4, that meaty spot right between the thumb and the index finger, right there. One of the most used acupoints there is, and one of the most well-known one, because it has so many functions. You've got pain, press that point. You're starting to get sick, press that point. Many, many uses, okay? And you can do the other side. Okay, and then the large intestines paired up with the lung meridian, and lung meridian, you know, has a lot to do with your respiratory system, right? So you find your shoulder, and then you find your chest, and right in between them there's a groove. Put your fingers there and spread them out, okay? And then find the thumb side of your arm right to the base. Bring your index finger to the base and wrap all your fingers around. Almost like you're feeling for a pulse, but you're just resting your hand there like this. As opposed to like feeling a pulse, you just rest your hand. And you're hitting lung 1, lung 2, lung 9, 8, 7. Very good points for when you're not feeling well, especially with your respiratory system. There you go. Yin and yang, and we always hear about that. So let's just show how it shows up in a upper respiratory infection. Yin and yang. Yin tends to be cold. So you get exposed to cold and you catch a cold and you feel cold. And it's like, oh, I don't want to be around cold or wind. Okay, but you could be exposed to cold and your body reacts in a heating sort of way, in which case you've got fever. It's like, I'm hot, oh my gosh, you know, it's just a major heat fever. Okay, that's a yin and yang. Another way you can see yin and yang is congestion in the sinuses and stuff. With the cold type of one, it's clear and white and profuse, you know, it's like you're always blowing it and stuff. Whereas the yang type, it tends to be yellow and green, you know what I'm talking about. That's a sign of heat in the body. And then headaches, another variation. Cold type of headache tends to be back of the head and the neck. And then with the yang type, it could be the whole head. Okay? And there you go. That's the yin and yang of upper respiratory infection. Okay, let's say we have the cold type of cold. You've been in the cold, now you're cold, and you're cold. Okay, what points do we use? We've already used these, or this index finger and there, And we've already done this. These are great starts. And if you got the cold type of cold, then you want to hit the area on your upper back between your spine and your shoulder blades. And to find this area, you run your hand down your neck, down the center, until you find that one vertebrae that sticks out like a mountain. And that's the point that you want to find, and you go either side of it and down 3 to 4 body inches out to your shoulder blades. And 3 body inches is 3 knuckles. 4 is just a little bit more. So massage that area. Have someone massage it for you. And if that doesn't work, they make these weird tools that you can do that with. And if you want to get by on the cheap, then get a couple of tennis balls and an old sock. Clean old sock. This is clean. Okay, and if you find regular tennis balls are a little hard, which I do, they make children tennis balls which are soft. Something to know. Okay, and those are pretty cheap. And then you've got yourself a little device for working your back. And depending on how far apart you want these balls to be, you tie your knot, and that helps control that. And then you put those balls in between your vertebrae, and you lay on them. And that, if you're too sick and you don't want to leave house, actually probably the best of these options that I kind of like is you get in a hot shower and you let the heat hit your neck, shoulders, and upper back, that target area, because that, you got the cold type of cold, right? So that sends heat into your respiratory systems, heat into your body. Your body will like that. Oh yeah. Okay? Yang. Yang, upper respiratory infection. Was highlighted with such wonderful things as sore throat and fever. So let's start out with the fever. First thing you want to do is make sure you've done all the other points. Okay, and then we have some additional points on the arm for fever. Find your wrist crease. And then there's 2 bones here and a hollow in between them. So the hollow is what we're looking for. And what we're going to do is go down 2 body inches, which is 2 joints right here, okay? Down the crease right into here, okay? And there's also, if you like another way of identifying the spot, there's a muscle that comes across the thumb side right here, across the bone, and if you come down to the top of that, that's about 2 inches down, body inches down, okay? Triple heater 5, very great spot for heat in the body. Now, instead of just going here, I just lay my hand flat across the chest because there's a bunch of points that help affect the respiratory system here. So just hold like that. Get a pulse. If you have time, do both sides. If you don't, just do one side. And then the other really strong point for heat in the body, anywhere in the body, the heat could be on your skin, rashes, or in your blood, or in a joint, you know, just anywhere in the body, okay? And what we're looking for is there's a groove right here when you bring your arms together. And it generally points down to the pivot of this joint. There's bone coming here, bone coming here, right on top of that pivot point, bang. Okay? That is large intestine 11. So we're using a lot of large intestine points. Okay? There you go. And that's for fever. There are other points that are good for fever, which we've already hit, here and here. So that's why I suggest doing the whole spiel if you have a chance. Okay? going to end this video here and start part 2. And in part 2 I'm going to discuss the other half of working with heat version, the yang version of upper respiratory infection, sore throat. And then from there we'll do more generalized coughing, headache, and sinus stuff. Okay? So I'll see you in the next video.